you for joining us. This is FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win, coming at you from inside the FanDuel Sportsbook here at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. We're excited to be back and talking hoops with you. I am Lisa Kerney, and as you know, the NFL season is in the books, and a massive congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams on their huge Super Bowl win. And now the pro and college basketball seasons take center stage here, and we are focusing on the biggest matchups on the schedule tonight, plus some fun futures bets on the board as well. Our betting experts will give you their picks, including the best value NBA MVP line and which team will win the college and pro championships. It's all here. We're talking hoops, and it is go time. So make sure you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for your new account, and plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. And we're tipping off this show with the pros, starting in the NBA and focusing on the nationally televised games here on the slate tonight, guys. Dave, Ed, Pony, the Celtics are in Brooklyn to take on the new-look Nets. Tip-off 7:30 Eastern Time. That can be found on TNT. This is the first day of games since the All-Star break for the league here. The Nets, I know you guys have been watching, enter the break having lost 12 of 14, while the Celtics went on a roll. They've won 9 of 10, so we've got these two colliding tonight. Dave, let's break it down. The Celtics are giving 7 points in Brooklyn. Who are you backing here?
Seems like such a big number because you think of the Nets and all their superstars. Well, no superstars tonight. Durant's still out. Kyrie can't play at home. Harden is now gone. This could be their starting five tonight in Brooklyn. Patty Mills, Seth Curry, Bruce Brown, Kessler Edwards, and Andre Drummond. I don't see how they're going to be able to stop Boston in this game. I think Boston should win big. Just not enough firepower right now from those Nets players.
You don't believe in Kessler Edwards, Dave? I'm disappointed in you. Here's the thing. Yes, Boston may be the hottest team in basketball right now, no doubt about that. But I just think this number is a little bit too big. It has moved in a certain direction, and it's probably going a little bit too fast. My model has this closer to maybe, say, 4 or 5 than I do, say, the 7. Rest can be the ultimate equalizer here. That matters. Brooklyn certainly won't have its stars. Overall defense, though, for the Nets has been pretty good. 7th in opponent effective field goal shooting. Boston certainly is number 1, but I feel like the Nets could do just enough with the backups to be able to slow down Boston, which, look, they won't be 100%. You know, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, I think we're overreacting to those guys coming back. I say the number's just too big. I've got the Nets covering.
Yeah, Dave's still clearly hungover from the Rams Super Bowl championship. Not thinking straight ever since he cashed that ticket. I'm with Ed. I like the Nets, too. I like the mindset of the Nets for this game. Yeah, they do not have Durant. Kyrie, Simmons isn't ready, but they know that help is on the way. So during that terrible stretch when Harden wanted out, they played lousy basketball, there was so much uncertainty there. Now they know that their big guns are coming back. As Ed pointed out, it's a huge number for the Celtics to cover on the road with Brooklyn at home. So I think they're relaxed. I think there's a loose approach, and I think that helps them keep the game close tonight.
All right, good stuff, guys. Thank you. And, of course, there are a ton of fun prop bets available for each NBA game as well. It can be found on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. So let's take a look at some of those on the board for these Celtic players in this game. Dave, we got Jason Tatum over or under 27.5 points. For Tatum, what do you think?
It's a big number, but not for him. It's not. And even though he played in the All-Star game, those extra few days off really seemed to recharge his batteries. Last year after the All-Star game, first game back, 31 points. 2 years ago, first game out of the break, 28 points. So he's fresh. He's ready to go. There's nobody that can stop him tonight in Brooklyn. He'll get those points.
Going over. All right, Ed, coming to you now for Tatum's running mate there, and Jaylen Brown, over or under 2.5 made three-point shots. What do you think?
Teams are roughly average when it comes to three-point shooting rate when they go up against Brooklyn, but I do believe that this game is going to be close. And if you believe that this game is going to be close, then they're going to shoot more threes. I do believe the over is the play here.
All right, Pony, coming to you now. Let's get your take on Marcus Smart here. Over or under 20.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Go.
I'm going to go over, make it a clean sweep, because this number is deflated by Smart's injury. He only played 13 minutes in this last game before the break, ankle. I think he's healthy, and that helps him get over.
All right, you guys, let's rock and roll here and get to the late game coming at us also on TNT. Warriors at the Trailblazers. We're going to dig in. This one tips at 10 Eastern time. Steph Curry coming off his All-Star game MVP performance. His first MVP, by the way, in the All-Star game. But the Warriors actually lost 4 of 5 heading into the break, so maybe rubbing off a little rust there. As for Portland, the Blazers are currently on a 4-game winning streak. So, Dave, the Dubs, road favorites here, giving 9.5. Do you like Golden State in this spot?
No, way too big of a number. Let's start with the fact that Golden State has not covered now in 7 straight games. Portland's covered 4 in a row. Going to Portland is not an easy task. Yes, do the Warriors have the better players in this matchup? Absolutely. But to lay 9 on the road, they've lost 4 straight in Portland, 6 out of 7 in Portland. The Warriors have got beat outright. Look, they're going to get their threes. Portland does not defend that very well, but to lay 9 on the road, no, not for me. I'll take the Blazers.
I'm backing Dave here. I think it is a really sharp spread, so I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of wiggle room here, but I am backing Portland. Trailblazers traded with the Clippers not that long ago, and it's actually helped their defense considerably, getting Eric Bledsoe and company. If you look at per 100 possessions over the last 2 weeks, the defense ranks 12th out of 30 teams in points allowed. That's not bad, especially going against so many sharpshooters in Golden State. And I wonder, too, in terms of the intangible, so to speak, that you're dealing with a first-year coach in Portland that probably needed a little bit more time to sort of get on the right page with his players, especially the new acquisitions that just came in a few weeks ago. Whereas Golden State, this may be more about load management for them, trying to get one of those top 2 seeds come playoff time. So to me, I think Portland's the way to go.
I agree. I'm going to take the Blazers, too. All the DFS players out there watching this, you got to start putting Anthony Simmons in your lineup for the Blazers. Now that they got McCollum out of there, Lillard isn't healthy. He's averaging over 30 points in his last 4 games. The Blazers come into this game with the 3rd longest winning streak in the NBA. I think they've got a good chance to knock off the Warriors outright, so I'm definitely taking the 9 points.
All right, so we got a clean sweep there. Let's take a look at some prop bets that are available for this one. I'm going to focus on the Warriors guys here first. Dave, got to start with Steph Curry. Over or under 4.5 made 3-point shots. 16 in that All-Star game. You think 4.5? He's like, meh, yeah. Easy.
Those are free throws for him, it seems like. He just shoots so many of them. Look, they've played Portland twice so far this year. He's had 6 in each of those games. Portland does not defend the 3 very well. Second to worst in the league as far as giving up 37% from behind the arc. Give up 14 threes a game, basically. Steph's going to have at least 5 of those. I'm going over.
All right, I'm so excited to talk about the Splash Brothers again. Ed, let's talk about Klay Thompson. Over or under 18.5 points for Thompson. What do you think?
Well, the big question is, how much is he going to play? And how you figure that out is going to be a big question mark. And if you look at his overall minutes per game by season for his entire career, he's averaging 9 fewer minutes per game now than he did during the heyday of the Warriors. And yes, the Warriors had a heyday. But if you are expecting it closer to what he would normally play, then I'd say go over here. At some point, he's going to be a full-fledged member of the Warriors. I'm going to say it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I'm going over.
All right, Pony, I'm going to make you do math again for your prop because, you know, I love you so much. Over or under 22.5 points plus boards plus assists for Andrew Wiggins. How do you play that one?
Yeah, I think the conclusion here is that we all think defense is optional coming out of the All-Star break because I'm going to go over on him, too. He had his career low in points in his last time out. He played 36 minutes. He only scored 9. You know he's going to look to do much better than that in this game. If he gets to 18, 19 points, he'll add the assists and rebounds, no problem. It goes over.
Okay, guys, let's move on. Those are just some of the bets available for tonight's nationally televised games. You can find hundreds more right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, where you'll also find a bunch of NBA futures bets. So we're going to dig in on a few of those, the most popular futures bets on the board right now at the FanDuel Sportsbook. So the first is a player prop. Which player will have the highest regular season scoring average? You can see the odds right there on your screen. Dave, get her done. Are you playing favorites here? Do you like a long shot? What do you think for this one?
I'm going to go with a bit of a long shot in here. I mean, you look at the guys right now that are currently at the top. You got Embiid. You know, is Harden going to take some points away from him? Giannis, obviously, is a big threat, but I've kind of seen him, they're kind of running the offense through him at the top of the keys, been a little bit more of a distributor in his last few games. Durant, you know, when's he going to come back? Can LeBron stay at that age, at that average? I think DeMar DeRozan is the guy in Chicago, an absolute monster. He gets to the line a ton. You know, I've seen him make 10, 12 free throws in a game, but he never has an off night. So he's got to really go off and up where he's at. He's, you know, a few points behind on average, so he's going to have some huge 40, 45-point gains, but that's my guy at plus 900.
Dave, I think you have the right idea.
Dave. Now, in addition, no, go ahead, Ed. Go.
Yes. In terms of process, Dave, I think you have the right idea, but I'm going to go slightly lower down the board, and my quasi-long shot here is Trae Young at plus 1,900. Guards typically win this honor. DeMar DeRozan certainly plays some too, but Young is the highest pure guard on this list, most prolific non-Steph Curry guy in terms of three-pointers made, and with Atlanta making that push to the playoffs, I think they're going to run Trae Young into the ground.
I'm going to break the tie here and go with DeRozan. I'm back on the Dave Weaver bandwagon, and here's why. He's fourth in scoring. Yeah, I know, Dave, right? Good luck charm right here. 7 straight games of 35 points or more going into the All-Star break. And the best point I thought Dave made was on Embiid. How does Harden affect the guy that's in the driver's seat right now? I think a 9-1 long shot has a good chance to lead the league in scoring.
Pony and Dave, we spend 1 week together in the Super Bowl. You guys are all best friends again. I don't know if I like this, actually. All right, moving on, because in addition to player futures, you can also make some futures bets on specific teams as well. You guys know this. So we're going to focus on one of the most talked about teams in the league, the Lakers. You're welcome, America. Will they make the playoffs? It's a simple yes or no bet. Dave, are LeBron and his boys going to be playing in the postseason?
I haven't liked one thing. Most Lakers fans this year haven't liked one thing about what they've seen with these 3 big stars that they have in LeBron, Davis, and Westbrook. They're not getting along with the coach. It doesn't seem like their help, their bench is not as strong as most of the NBA's. I don't think they're going to get it done. I think the Lakers whiff this year.
No, they are not going to get it done. And look at the teams that they are vying with in terms of those 7 and 8 seeds. And first off, let's talk about the Clippers and the unbelievable job that Ty Lue has done. I mean, he really should be head coach of the year in all the injuries that they've had and the fact they're still in playoff contention. When Paul George returns, they are going to be better than the Lakers. And then you look at Minnesota, one of the surprise teams in the West. 4th fewest in contract dollars paid to players who are injured. They have been a really healthy, really young, and vibrant team. They will get in. The Lakers do not.
Yeah, let's make this clear. This is to crack that top 8. The play-in tournament does not count. And so that's why I'm betting no here as well. The Lakers are a one-man team with LeBron. You can't count on Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook's been a bust. So I am going to make it a 3-for-3 pick of no.
No, I mean, the kumbaya, I don't know if I can handle it, guys. Let's get to another big market team with a lot of attention on them every single year. We know that the New York Knicks, their regular season win total set at 35.5. New York currently sitting at 25 wins, still have 23 games left to play on the regular season schedule. Dave, are they going over or under 35.5 wins?
I like this squad. I'm a big fan of the Knicks roster. You know, Julius Randle is always very, very solid. Robinson definitely can get it done in the paint. Barrett, Fournier can go from behind the arc on any given night, hit 5 or 6 threes. And their bench actually is good. They got guys that can come in and can kind of sustain that offense. You know, they've had a very losing record at this point, but I think they can turn it on here.
Even though I fear making Lisa queasy, I'm going to take the over here as well. I think the offense for New York will improve considerably. I refuse to believe that Julius Randle's anti-clutchness is something systematic. I do believe it's going to get better. And look, Evan Fournier's three-point shooting, RJ Barrett's spark, they should be there after the All-Star break. Overall effective field goal percentage should enjoy some positive regression. I think they'll hit this mark.
Are we watching the same Knicks team? I'm completely perplexed by all this. What are you guys seeing in them? They're terrible. They are not good. Randall's their best player. He wants out. Barrett's been a complete disaster and disappointment. Kemba Walker's done for the season. They're projected to win 35 games right now if you play it out, and I think things are only going to get worse for them. They'll make trades to probably tank. No, I'm going under on the Knicks.
Can we also go back to Ed dropping an anti-clutchness? He's known for his big words, but that I don't think that's even a real word. All right, guys, let's look at some fun prop bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. There it is. We're coming up a little bit later in the show. The guys will reveal their best value MVP and their NBA champion as well. You can log on to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, check out thousands of bets available for you right now. It's on the app, it's on the web. You know where to find us. And just a reminder, new users sign up for a new account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. You're going to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code MOREWAYS1000. All right, we covered the NBA. Let's switch gears now and focus on some college hoops. There are 3 ESPN games on the schedule tonight. We are betting all of them, starting with the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, on the road taking on San Francisco. These two faced off back on January 20th. The Zags won that one by 16. Dave and Ed, Zags giving 10 in this one. Dave, what's your pick?
You know, the Zags have the best offense in the country, but San Francisco has the #2 defense as far as field goal percentage allowed, 37.2. Okay, they lost by 16 on the road, but coming home, this is their season. This is the one they put a circle around when the schedule first came out. This is it. That place will be rocking, and they've covered 3 out of the last 4 games by 15 points or more. So I would put the Zags on upset alert here. I think San Francisco can cover that, Ted.
Oh, I'm in the opposite direction here. This Gonzaga team is better than the one that nearly went undefeated and won the national championship 1 season ago. You look at offensively and defensively, they do just about everything right. The Zags have the 2nd highest effective field goal percentage in transition. That is a tough thing for opposing teams to cover. 2nd best shooting percentage at the rim. That attack will force San Francisco to hoist many more threes and many more quick shots than they are used to. I'm laying the 10.
Yeah. All right, let's shift our focus, guys, to the Pac-12 now. And a rematch of an overtime thriller from earlier in the year. Oregon beat UCLA at Pauley Pavilion 84-81. That came back on January 13th. The Bruins, now ranked 13th. They travel to Oregon for this one, and UCLA is giving 3. Ed and Pony, let's hear your pick. And Ed, I'm coming right back to you. What do you think?
I think the Ducks are covering in this one. I can't recommend a moneyline bet on them, but UCLA's offense, I think, is in a little bit of trouble here. Their effective field goal percentage is plummeting since the start of the season. They're not getting to the rim very often, and when they are, the Bruins are not finishing at a particularly high clip. I feel like that they need to be a little bit more creative offensively to try and handle Oregon's length, and I think that could limit things a little bit. I have the Ducks covering.
Yeah, Lisa, you nailed it. You know, Oregon went to a historic arena called Pauley Pavilion. Some people have never heard of it, actually. That's an inside joke for Dave. And that's a long story. Oregon, I think, it takes transfer portal teams longer to find chemistry. And so UCLA brought all these guys back from a Final Four run. Oregon brought these big-name players in. They're finding themselves. They went to Arizona and almost won, the best team in the Pac-12. They need this win to make the tournament. They're squarely on the bubble. I'm going with the Ducks away from Pauley Pavilion.
All right, I need to know about that Pauley Pavilion inside joke, by the way. Let's get to number 17, USC at Oregon State. These two teams headed in opposite directions, guys. The Trojans have won 6 of 7. The Beavers have lost 12 games in a row. That is brutal. USC, a 10-point road favorite. Dave, can they cover that number?
They can't. Oregon State is one of the worst teams that I've ever seen, and I've watched IUPUI this year. Oregon State, for a team that made the Elite 8 last year, to have only 3 wins, it's just absolutely amazing. My 3 favorite things: golfing, spending time with my family, and betting against Oregon State. And for the record, Pony'd never been to LA before. I took him to Disneyland. I was just trying to give him a lay of the land. I said that Pauley Pavilion is where the Bruins play. Not everybody is going to know that. Come on.
No, you said UCLA plays at an arena called Pauley Pavilion, as if every sports fan is unaware of that. Like, it's not one of these all-time relics. Come on, it's the cathedral of college basketball, Dave. Look, I'm taking Oregon State here. I'm going to go up against you now. I'm so mad at you. And the reason why I like Oregon State is because for as bad as their record is, they're competitive at home. 4 out of their last 7 home
never
games.
competitive.
Well, they don't lose by double digits every time. Let me make my point. 4 out of their last 7 home games against Pac-12 teams, they've lost by fewer than double digits. I think USC sleepwalked through this one, and the Beavers cover.
So many things I want to make t-shirts about from this one show, guys. This is a look at some of the nationally televised games tonight. We are just about 2.5 weeks away from Selection Sunday for the NCAA tournament. It's a wide open field this year, and that's reflected in the NCAA championship odds here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. You see some of the favorites on your screen right now. So, guys, I want to dig in here. I want to get your best value NCAA tournament winner. Your picks here. Who's cutting down the nets in New Orleans? Dave, you're up first.
Well, I love what I see with Kentucky. Coach Cal always coached these guys for the postseason. He's playing for the tournament, and he's got a great squad this year. They got the best big in the NCAA in Oscar Tshiebwe. They got a big game coming up Saturday against Arkansas, but even win or lose there, they're looking towards March. I love Kentucky.
And I'm going to take another K. I've got Kansas here. They were plus 1,500 earlier in the week. Now they're down to plus 1,200. Ochai Abachi should be player of the year with his ability to finish around the rim. Jayhawk offense about as good as anybody's in America. And because they play at a such high tempo with a stout transition game, they are almost upset proof once you get to the tournament. And Kansas plays at a place called Fog Allen Fieldhouse, Pony.
Lisa's going to put her Greg Ostertag jersey on. She's pumped. I saw her face. She likes that pick, Ed. I'm going with the team that plays at Pauley Pavilion, and I'm not kidding. I like UCLA. You put on a UCLA game, I'm a value better. They're 25-1. You see guys that made it to the Final Four last year. Their entire team is back. Mick Cronin. I just think that they're battle-tested in the tournament, and at that price, it's hard not to put that bet in at 25-1.
Guys, just beware of the fog. That's all I'm saying. Ed, I am so tailing you. Great stuff, you guys. Let's hit the NBA again quickly before we wrap this show. I am going to get these guys' picks for their final winners coming up in just a second. But first, let's focus on which player will win the regular season MVP. We got Joel Embiid, who's been absolutely balling out of his mind this year. He is the favorite right now. Dave, do you like Embiid? Are you putting your money on another player to win this MVP award? What do you think?
No, I love Embiid. And, you know, as far as scoring goes, if Harden takes away some of those points, he'll make up for it in some other categories. So even if he does lose the scoring title, that doesn't necessarily mean that he loses the MVP. He just had such a great year in so many different categories. He's carried that team literally on his back. He is a little bit injury prone, so can he stay healthy the rest of the way? If he does, I don't see him losing this award.
I think I see too many teams in the East that could pose some problems to the Sixers. But for me, my MVP pick is Ja Morant at plus 1,800. Often these awards are given to surprises. And has there been a bigger surprise in the NBA this season than Memphis, currently third in the West, the tougher conference? Among those with significant playing time, he's the best in terms of improved advanced metrics like Darko, great assist rate to go with being one of the better scorers. I think Ja Morant, this is his spotlight moment, and I think he can get it done winning the MVP.
No, congratulations for Dave going out on such a limb there on his long shot pick. What was it? Plus 145, Dave. Woo. That was gutsy.
It wasn't a long shot pick.
No, I know. I'm being sarcastic. Maybe it doesn't shine through on Skype now that I'm no longer sitting next to you in Los Angeles. No, I like Steph Curry. As Ed likes to say, this is a narrative-based award. If the Warriors finish with the best record, which they can now that Chris Paul is hurt, I think they can catch the Suns, and Draymond Green doesn't get back healthy, they finish with the best record in the NBA, I think there's going to be a push to give Curry another MVP award. So at that price, 12-1, I think he's a pretty good bet.
I'm buying what you're selling, Pony. I agree. Coming off that All-Star break, the narrative is only going to heat up from here. All right, you guys, from the MVP to the NBA champion, we got to give it to somebody. So let's go around the horn here one more time and get all of your picks. And Dave, let's roll. Who is your winner to host that Larry O'Brien Trophy?
Doesn't have to be a long shot winner, right? Just my winner. Like sometimes Lisa does ask for value picks, but this is just a winner. I love Phoenix. And, everything I see about Phoenix, when they're within 3 points with about 4 minutes to go, they never lose. This is the most clutch team in the NBA. Yes, they lose Chris Paul for maybe 6 weeks. He'll be back for that playoff push. I think they're better than Golden State. I think they're better than anybody in the East. Give me the Suns.
I'm going to back you, Dave. I'm going with the Suns as well, in large part because I know a lot of people are concerned about the Chris Paul injury. And yeah, I'm concerned about Chris Paul, no doubt about it. But I do believe at some point he will be ready come playoff time. And if you look at this overall offense, I think the real difference this year than last is Mikal Bridges in terms of how much more often he's getting touches, possessions, shots, those kinds of things. He's become even more impactful than he was last season. Devin Booker, obviously fantastic. DeAndre Ayton certainly has a role. I think the slight tweaks that they've made have made this offense overall a good bit better, and I feel like Phoenix can go all the way.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what we talked about previously, the MVP. Most valuable versus best are two separate conversations. I think right now Morant might be the best player in the NBA. And so Memphis at 30-1, they're way off the radar because they don't have playoff history. But sometimes what you don't know doesn't hurt you. There's like an ignorance is bliss component to them. And I think their tempo, the way he plays, if Paul doesn't get healthy, it's just a monkey wrench in this whole thing. It really is. So I think it might be wide open like it was a couple of years ago in the bubble with Toronto. And if it gets chaotic, I think a team like Memphis can actually make some noise. So I'm going to bet them 30-1.
Yeah, Morant, a spectacular player to watch. Great stuff, you guys. From basketball to soccer here, the Major League Soccer season kicks off this weekend, and you can win cash just by answering a few questions about Saturday's games. Check it out. Captain Morgan is teaming up with FanDuel to present the Captain Morgan Soccer Pick'em contest. Here it is. It is free to enter. All you have to do is answer questions about Saturday's games. Get a certain number right, and you could win part of the $3,000 prize pool. And keep playing throughout this MLS season. This is a weekly contest that goes through June 4th. So don't miss it all season long. Again, it's free to enter the Captain Morgan Soccer Pick'em contest. You can sign up by going to the website right there on your screen, FanDuel.com/free/hub. Again, that's FanDuel.com/free/hub. Enter every single week through June 4th for a chance to win part of that $3,000 prize pool every single week. You must be 21 to enter. Have fun, and as always, good luck. And that'll do it for us here. Hoops, man, our guys absolutely brought the knowledge. We hit some game picks, props, futures, NBA, college, all the stuff. You can check out all the bets that we talked about on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. New users sign up using that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Thanks for hanging with us. Always appreciate you throughout the NFL season. And now as we turn our attention to hoops, love having you with us. Enjoy the games and good luck with your bets.